Let's get into these 13 sweet potato recipes. I want to start off with the newest sweet potato recipe on my blog. That is the lovely lentil salad made with tender roasted sweet potatoes and a tangy pomegranate vinaigrette. Now this recipe was originally featured in my brand new cookbook, Vegan Vibes. However, I couldn't keep it just in that cookbook. I had to share it on the blog and here on YouTube as well. Unless otherwise stated in the recipe, for most of my recipes, peeling the sweet potatoes is optional. You can keep in mind though that the peel does contain lots of nutrients. So if you want to increase your fiber intake and also your intake of vitamins and minerals, then you might want to keep the peel on, but that's totally up to you. This recipe is very filling and colorful, and it is so full of flavor. I like making this recipe for meal prep because it only gets more delicious as it sits and the flavors combine in the refrigerator. And it's so easy to make, and you can serve it with all sorts of different things. You can mix it with salad greens or eat it in a bowl. You can eat it as a side dish or even as a main. I love lentil salads, and this one is my favorite. Next up is my Tempeh Tikka Masala made with, of course, sweet potatoes. Now what I think is so special about this recipe is, of course, the tempeh, which is meaty and full of flavor thanks to the myriad of spices, but the sweet potato. Instead of cooking the sweet potato with the Tempeh Tikka Masala, I actually roast it along with the cauliflower in the oven separately. That way these vegetables caramelize and get crispy edges. And when you mix them with the finished tikka masala, the flavor is honestly next level. I love making curries. They are so easy, they're nutritious, they're super tasty, and they're so versatile. You can make curries of any type, but this sweet potato chickpea curry might just be my new favorite easy curry to make. Made with sweet potatoes and chickpeas and loads of spices, this curry is simmered until the sweet potatoes are tender and then served over brown rice or with my vegan naan. And when I'm in the mood for more Asian flavors, I always go for these sweet potato noodles made with an almond lime sauce that has the perfect amount of sweetness and tang. The stir-fried vegetables are tossed with spiralized sweet potato noodles, and then that tangy almond lime sauce is added. The sweet potatoes cook down until they're tender but not mushy to create the most unique and delicious sweet potato noodle dish. For my next recipe, I actually chose two perfect sweet potato side dishes: sweet potato fries and sweet potato wedges. These can be made in the air fryer or the oven in a cinch. These sweet potatoes are tossed with smoked paprika and garlic powder, which, if you haven't noticed, are my favorite spices by far. I use them all the time. And then they're baked or air fried to perfection. This is one of my easier sweet potato recipes, and when I need a quick snack and I'm in the mood for sweet potatoes, the sweet potato fries and wedges are the ones I always go to. Sweet potatoes are definitely one of my favorite vegetables, but I also love beets. And when you combine the two, I'm in heaven. So these sweet potato beet fritters are absolutely right up my alley, and I hope yours too. Shredded sweet potato and beets are mixed and then fried until they're crispy and tender and chewy on the inside. This recipe was inspired by traditional Jewish latkes, but honestly, I make it all year round. The crispy edges and that tender, chewy center are incredible, and like a traditional latke, it's extra delicious when served with a little bit of applesauce. Let's take a break from those savory sweet potato side dishes and entrees and go for some breakfast. Now, while it's still savory, the sweet potato hash is one of my favorite things to eat for breakfast. It's actually uber savory because the sweet potatoes are cooked with garlic and onions and bell pepper and seasoned with rich smoked paprika. I love savory breakfast, and this one hits all the spots. I recommend making it for meal prep if you want to have a savory sweet potato breakfast all week long. The sweet potatoes only get more delicious as they sit in the fridge, and you can rewarm this recipe in the microwave or on the stove for an easy savory breakfast. And if you like a liquid breakfast, you must try this sweet potato latte. I'm obsessed, okay? Obsessed. It's basically like a pumpkin spice latte made with a superior vegetable, which is sweet potato. It is creamy, it is rich, it is sweet, and it is better than anything you can get at your local coffee shop, in my opinion. I'm just saying. And if you're in the mood for something sweet like pancakes, let me introduce you to my sweet potato pancakes. Made with warming spices like cinnamon and cloves, these cozy pancakes are definitely worth getting out of bed for. To make these, I use just the perfect amount of sweet potato puree. And if you know me, you know how much I love using spelt flour in place of all-purpose flour in my baking and in my pancakes. Spelt flour is more nutritious than all-purpose flour, and it has an earthier taste, but will still give you your perfect fluffy, tender pancakes that you're looking for. So now that we have addressed breakfast, let's go back to the dinner table with this sweet potato bisque. This creamy bisque is made with sweet potatoes and white beans. Actually, I use white beans to replace the heavy cream that is usually used to make a traditional bisque. The white beans not only make the soup creamy and rich, but they also add loads of fiber and of course, plant-based protein. I've been making this recipe for so many years, and it's one of the favorites on my blog. And don't forget to top this soup off with some crispy white beans for the perfect balance of texture. And speaking of creamy things, what about hummus? I absolutely love making my own hummus at home. It's so easy and it's more delicious than the store-bought hummus that they're charging like $3 for a teeny tiny container for. Making hummus is so easy, but you will need a food processor. Combine cooked chickpeas with the sweet potato, spices, and one of my secret ingredients, which is miso, and blend until silky smooth. This is great for meal prep and can be enjoyed any time of year, any time of day. It actually makes a great healthy snack and late night snack too. Now let's move on to dessert. Yes, I have some sweet potato desserts for you. Of course, I've got to hit you with the sweet potato pie. I love sweet potato pie. I've always loved it. Actually, it's one of my favorite foods in the world. I grew up eating it. I'm obsessed. But you can also make a sweet potato pie 100% vegan. This recipe is a must during the holiday season, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't think those holidays are complete without a sweet potato pie. And for an everyday sweet potato recipe, I need to point you to one of my favorite recipes, my sweet potato tahini cookies. These are flourless, healthy cookies that taste anything but healthy. They are decadent and rich and full of flavor, but they're healthy. You can enjoy them any time of day without any guilt because they're made with tahini, oats, and maple syrup along with shredded sweet potato. I like to add also chocolate chips and pecans, and they're spiced with just the right amount of cinnamon. I love these cookies so much that when I make them, I barely can get them in the oven before I eat all of the batter. Absolutely delicious. I hope you'll give it a try. I hope you'll try these 13 sweet potato recipes. And guess what? I have even more, like dozens more, on my blog, sweetpotatosoul.com. I've put them all together in a super easy to follow sweet potato roundup blog post, and I'm going to link to that in the description box down below. I'm also linking to all of the recipes that are mentioned in today's video, so make sure to head down there to get your recipe, get your cooking on, and enjoy your sweet potatoes. Let me know which recipe you're gonna try first. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you here on Sweet Potato Soul next time. Bye.